Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited because I just got my little office slash studio set up, and this is my first video on the desk getting ready here with you, so I hope you enjoy. I'm going to be doing a look today based off of the Norvina Volume 2 and Volume 3 palettes. Looking for more of like a yellow orangey tone today, so I hope you enjoy, and here we go. So first thing I'm going to do, as per usual, is I'm going to prime my face. Today I'm going to use the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I enjoy this just because it is a little bit more cost effective than some of the competitors, and you get quite a bit of product. What I do normally do with this is I will just take a little bit onto my finger like so. I'm going to just touch in the little spots that I want to make disappear. Spots where I hate myself, basically. And then just rub it in. For my brows, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow in Taupe. So for this product, what I do is I just open it up and I actually breathe into it to kind of warm up the product a little bit. Might not be good for it because it adds moisture from your breath, but so I scoop a little bit of product then, like so, and I will put it onto the back of my hand. The reason why I do this is because it actually will warm the product. I brush up my brows opposite from where I'm going to be putting the dip brow. And then what I will do is I will come in here and start slowly cutting in. Then what you will do is you'll take your spoolie and kind of blend that product into the hairs above it. Gently, so that way you're not moving the line, but still getting that product blended in. All right, so now I'm going to brush down and do the top part of my brow. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just do my other brow. For my base, I'm going to use the P. Louise base in shade Rumor 1. I love this shade because it is a little bit lighter than Blank Canvas. If I'm doing more deeper tones, I will use that as a base instead, but since I'm going a little bit lighter, I'm gonna use this Rumor number 1. The brush that I'm going to use is the P. Louise large crease brush. And the way that you will use this is you'll just take the product, squeeze some onto the top of your hand. You don't need a lot, so make sure that you are just going in with what you need. And then from there, you will take the brush and just start working it in, getting as much product onto the brush as possible, really working it into the brush, and then adding more product as needed. And there you have it. So now, since it is flatter, I'm going to use that and go in and cut the brow. To blend out the bottom part of this under my eye, I'm going to use my Morphe M441 brush. It is just a circular fluffy brush that you use, but it does really work at picking up that product and spreading it out to even out those harsher lines. And there you have it, folks. So for that, I'm going to set it with a very light powder. And that powder that I'm using is the Laura Mercier translucent powder. And I'm just going to use a Morphe E28 brush to kind of dab that on under the eye. The reason why I like to put this under the eye is so that way it doesn't set into the wrinkles. If you don't have wrinkles under your eyes, God bless you. Now that we are ready to start on our shadows, I'm going to dig in. First shade that I'm going to use is going to be D2 right here. And I'm just going to pat that in right where I want it. So now that we have that first shade placed, I'm going to go in with my Morphe M433 brush to put my second color on for the first blend. What I'm going to use first is going to be the color A2 from the Volume 3 palette. You're just going to go 50% on the prior shade and 50% on to your base. This helps to create a really nice blend between the two colors. This is pretty pigmented, and since they are relatively similar colors, I'm going to make sure that I'm just kind of gently tapping that on to the prior shade. So now that you've got that, you're gonna go in with your third and final shade. For this, I'm actually going to use a yellow. I'm going to do the shade E4 from the Volume 3 Norvina. I'm using this as kind of that final little shade to blend out. As I mentioned before, 50% on, 50% off. All right, so now that we have that first layer set, I'm going to go in again with the same products to go over the same exact spots that I did again and redo the process. This kind of solidifies the color and helps with that blend to look more diffused into the skin tone. And there you have it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the shadows on my other eye, and I will be right back. Okay, so now that I've completed both eyes, I'm going to go in and finish my lower lash line before I start applying liner. And there you have it. I feel like candy corn. Makes me want Halloween real bad. So yeah, there's that. Next, we are going to do our liner. For my liner today, I'm going to be using the Milani Stay Put Matte 17-Hour Wear. And just putting that on a little bit. I don't want a huge cat eye. And I usually will just dot out where I want before I send it through. I'm getting a little bit of Halloween vibes from this. So I'm going to go in with a darker shade. Okay, so for the deeper shade that I'm going to use right on the inner side of my eye and the outside is going to be shade C4 from Volume 3. Okay, there's a little bit of depth. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my Acid Rain Mmmmitchell P. Louise base in Blank Canvas. So for that, I just squeeze a little bit onto my hand. And then with this, I will just be putting that product into the small P. Louise brush from the Mirror Mirror collection. And I'm just going to dot out where I want that crease cut. And then we will go in and add the deeper shade to diffuse the sides of that crease. Shade C4 again from Norvina Volume 3. And you're just gently going to pull that in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with one more shade, a glitter shade to accentuate that. And for this, I'm going to use shade D5. I'm going to apply that with the brush right at the spots where the two shades would meet. And then with my pinky finger, I'm going to go into that same shade again, pick up some product, and dab it on to my lid. And then if you feel like you need a little bit more product on the deeper side, go ahead and just add a little bit more. So there's that eye. I'm going to go ahead and finish the other, and I will be right back. Okay, so now that my lashes are curled and the mascara is on, I'm going to go and put my lashes on off camera. The lashes that I'm going to be using today are the LadyCode Lisa lashes in Luxy. I love these babies. They are so amazing. Really good for an everyday look, but they can be dramatized with a more dramatic eye. So yeah, I will be right back. Okay, so here it is. I've got my lashes on. I have my foundation on. The foundation that I used is the Dior Forever 2N shade of the 24-Hour Wear High Perfection Skin Caring Foundation with sunscreen. Girl loves a sunscreen. She can bronze herself, but she may not need it. I use the Morphe M439 to really kind of pat the product into my skin. Get those horrible lines on the forehead. And then to finish it off, I just use my Morphe blender. Okay, so next is going to be our cream contour and highlight. For that, I'm using Fenty Beauty for both shades. I do really enjoy these. The shade that I use for my concealer is shade 210 and 450 for my contour. I'm gonna go ahead and start with contour just because I feel like that's a little bit more necessary. So for this, I basically just take it and dab 3 dots onto the cheek where I want them to be blended. Then from there, I just take my Real Techniques buffing brush and I stipple that out along the line that I want. And then I just start buffing it down into the skin. Always make sure that you're bringing it also back into the hairline. Then we're just using circular motions to really kind of cut that cheekbone. Make sure that when you're choosing your concealer that you're going in with a darker shade. This, if you were to look at it like online, is super dark, but as you can see, once it's blended out on foundation, it really does have a good tint to it. Okay, then for the forehead, I just take a few dots on each side in the corner. Every single person, I'm gonna stop myself. Every single person should contour their foreheads differently. This is based off of head shape. Since I do have more of an oval type shape, I'm going to dot out the sides like so, because I want to make my forehead appear smaller. And then same as before, you just go in, stipple that out. Making sure to pull it into the hairline. And pull it down almost to your brow bone. All right, and then for the nose, I just take one dot on each side. And then I use the Morphe M173 buffer brush for my nose. And you just do the same exact thing that you did before. Taking that one dot and creating the shape that you want for your nose. All right, nose is done. Now we're gonna go in with our lighter shade concealer. And for this, I just use a smaller beauty blender. I do want to recommend that you dampen these before you use them, just because it will pick up the product a little bit more, make it easier for you to apply, and it won't make it look splotchy. Since I do have the wrinkles under my eyes, I want to make sure that I don't add a bunch of concealer, because the more you cake on, the more there will be showing up in the wrinkles. And then once you have that, I'm just going to take this. This is one of the Jeffree Star Morphe collab mini sponges. And then you just put that in. All right, and now we are going to go in with our powders. So first, I like to go in the opposite direction of what I did with my concealers. So concealers, I did my dark shade first, then my light shade. Now what I'm going to do for my setting powders is I'm going to do my Laura Mercier translucent powder, and then I'm going to go in with my Marc Jacobs Omega bronzer. I'm going to use the Real Techniques powder sponge and just dip in. This is what I'm going to use to hit the spots that I'm most concerned about getting crease. And then I'm going to go in with my Morphe E4 brush for my bronzer slash contour. I'm just basically dusting that off and really just kind of defining that cheekbone. This is all based off of personal preference as well. I like to go in and do a more bronzed look. If you do not want to, you don't have to put as much on. Choice is completely yours. For my nose contour, I'm going to use the Morphe E67 brush. Same exact type brush, just a little bit smaller. And just kind of brush that line the way that I want it to be. To take off my translucent powder, I'm going to use my Morphe M553, just a little fluff brush, and just dust all of that off. Okay, so now that I have gotten that done, I'm going to do my blush. For my blush, I usually use the Nars in shade Gilda. It's a really nice deep berry tone. For that, I'm going to use my Real Techniques blush brush, and just kind of dab that in, get some good product on it, and then just gently run her over my cheek. All right, and for highlight, I'm using the Morphe Jeffree Star JS4 highlighter brush. I'm firstly going to go in with my Dark Horse shade and just tap that on. Since it is a darker shade, I just want to get a little bit of that darker shimmer. Lastly, I'm going to use Uranus and just go over that to really accentuate that highlight. After that, I'm going to set my face and put a little bit more highlighter on. For the setting spray, I use the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. I love this. It lasts forever and it smells really good. Can you tell I like it? Okay, so while this is still wet, going in with that highlight again. Ooh. And there you have it, kids. Adding a little bit to my Cupid's bow. Now that I have got my face done, I'm going to go in and do my lips. For my lips today, I'm going to be using Morphe's lip liner in Honeymoon. I love this nude just because it is very deep, but still matches my natural lip tone closer than most of the other shades. For my lipstick, in light of using Manny MUA's highlight, I'm going to use one of Manny MUA's lipsticks, and this is in Daddy. And there we are. Going to set just a little bit more. A little bit. And I think we are good to go. There it is. Okay, folks, so there you have it. This is the finished look for today. I'm kind of living for it. I mean, these Norvina palettes pack a punch, let me tell you. I'm so glad that I got them. If you haven't gotten them yet, please do. There's so many options for color choices, and really, like, I'm ready for fall now. Like, buy Corona, buy summer, get me pumpkin spice lattes, because that's what I want with this eye. So there you have it. I appreciate you watching today. If you like what I served today, if the tea tasted delicious, please like and subscribe. And also, if you're really feeling it, you can push the little bell down below that will notify you when I post new videos. I appreciate you so much, and I cannot wait for next look with you. Have a good one. Bye.